So, welcome back, guys. As you have seen, the part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4 is about to come. I have completed my Melu as it was not easy for me to complete the second one, the Secret of Nagas, because there are total, as I can show you, this book has 26 chapters, and with that they have different prologue of acknowledgements, and the very next story is all starting with this the secret of Nagas. And I can show you how many chapters it also consists of. There are total 23 chapters, and I have yet started this book. I was just hoping, like I was hoping from one chapter to other chapter in this book, but I wasn't able to conclude anything. So seriously, on a very positive note, I was not able to complete the Secret of Naga in a day, because as I have told, I can't do anything in a one day. So sorry, I can't just give this anyhow review. But I was about to tell you about two different authors which I used to study and which I used to prefer more. So as I have told you that the Indian author is the Amish Tripathi, the Melhu, and you can see the luster of book, as already I have given some kind of vibes about this book on my Instagram. You have seen Shish Sharma, the very username has been changed, so you can go again and check it out. Okay, so this you can see that the book is filled with thrills, and it is somehow around the plot of mythological kind of, like it is a, first of all, it's a fictional work. Okay, so whatever the things, whatever the stories, whatever the rivers have been named, it's all fiction based. Sometimes some things are there which are original, and you can say the origin of particular thing is right, but anyhow this is a mythological fictional and a spiritual fictional. It is all about the very good leader Shiva, who has been the main patronist of this book, and he has carried on everything. So I was talking about Indian author and the other different author, as I told. So the fact is, like, when you go with two different authors, right, the very first thing comes in your mind is that bestseller. So here is a kind of devotee, like internal devotion comes from that. If it is a bestseller, means it has some good qualities in it, and I can cope up with good reviews, and I can cope up with very good positive FM, like everybody does on YouTube or anywhere when they are reviewing about it. But it's not like that. Reality hits different, right? When you will go to read this, The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho, first of all, I'll tell you, the Veronica Decides to Die is more interesting. Like, it's more, it's not like it is not interesting. The book is very interesting, but that particular book talks more about stories, talks more about, like, you can say, a kind of curiosity for the beginner to read on. But The Alchemist is more asking from you as patience and consistency to keep on hoping to chapters, like keep on going ahead. Okay, so if you want to achieve milestones, then you have to be very patient for reading Paulo books as an different author. The font size of this book I can show to you. It's a very simple font, and I want you to know, like, here the author is, and I want everyone to tell that which font it is. Okay, which font it is talking about. Then this book also talks about the acknowledgement at the end, but in our Amish, totally 18 pages completing the both the sides has talked about only about the very character names. He has thanked his family, friends, and whoever has been contributed to this book. As a good Indian genre-oriented person, do this. So, acknowledgement is also filled with thanks and given a brief about what the story is. Then the chapter is also ending with, you can see, some other titles of Amish, and as it is done by every now and then writer. And here this episode from Naga starts from this book, and the book's pages are near about 412 as mentioned, excluding the acknowledgement section. So here I am up with the new pattern of reading, the new pattern of this book has been published near about, if you can see, There are many series of the book. Here the years haven't been 2018 published. So the writing font, the way it has been written, the font it has been used, these things are very profound. Some of the things which I have mentioned and I have just marked off mail who is like, I'll try to recite all them later on. But before that, I just want to give a quick pointers of having a new reader, being a new reader, being a new beginner to read. What else you can go with? First of all, don't panic whenever you are going to like you are going to start and you're going to initiate the particular thing to read. See, reading is not an kind of you are going for a war or something like. It's a very profound and very little bit kind of like it's a very easy factor for you. Like it's very easy, but it asks you for more attention when it is about patience. Everybody don't have that kind of patience to read on, and people, even I have done when I was a beginner. When I came across to read again this whole book, I came to know that I also hopped a lot. Means I was just swinging the pages, I was just going here and there, and I was a bit confused. To keep on attention, you have to remind yourself this is the story. This also has an ups and downs. You can't every time have a good signs, or like you can't have a goodies every time. Sometimes you have to also go with the things which are not bounding you in a particular intact. Okay, so this also has been a new pattern of reading. So this was my first book which I gave, which was given to me by my sibling. This book is totally different from the books which I am reading, the publications of 2018 2016 ones, because this book has been published in 2010, and the way the book was given to me was very fragile. But then also I have done this kind of things when I was a new reader. You can see this, what I have done on the very prologue and what I have done on the very epilogue, with some of the markations, which is very dirty thing. Whenever you will open the book, you will feel like, oh god, what I have done. So you won't get the interest to read the books more on. So I will suggest, don't mark it with a pen, even not with a pencil. Have a highlighter, do it with that, because I also did this kind of mistake, and right now I literally don't feel like to turn any of the pages of this book. But whenever I feel like it's my first inspiration, like a nostalgia of having a reading, I just open the book and I read it out. But this kind of things is very unhygienic kind of, because it doesn't let you read again. Okay, so the pointers are like what the Indian author and what the very different author, the bestseller is. Both Indian author was the bestseller which I chose. Amish Tripathi is the bestseller. So here I want to say that Indian authors are more descriptive, okay, and their writings are more profound, because they prefer the way they acknowledge things in a very profound manner, like in a very detailed manner, because they know they are Indian citizens. And let them go, then I'll talk to you. So where I was, first of all, they are about like Indian author, and they talks about things which are very profound, very deep, like a kind of understanding. And I chose a mythological book, so it is much spiritual, it is much ecstatic. Okay, then I was talking about Polo Polo. The language was very conformed, very like it's very confining, very easier, very like you can say harmonized. It's like Bewilender if you will just try to read it on. And the fact was that the language, the font of this book, the font he has used is way far brighter and way far, like you can see it's just big ones. Okay, the chapter has also two parts, and it's not way clumsy for you, because I have started this book when I read my first book. Like this was my sixth or seventh book of bestsellers. So had not any hurdle of reading this one. But if you are starting with this book, I'll suggest don't start with Amish. If you are trying to get a new Indian author, try someone which is a bit more literature oriented. He is also literature oriented, but the fact is the language, the way he has written is more complicated for the new ones. So if you are a reader, if you are a bibliophilic, then go for Amish Tripathi books. I'll suggest you as an Indian author origin. And if you are a new beginner, it's okay to go with Paulo books, because he doesn't have a complicated English and he doesn't have ever used something. It will also let you, it's just about patience and consistency it is asking about. Otherwise it is completely fine to have any kind of his any of his books. Amish Tripathi is way far, you can say na, a max level player, a superior level of writer. So his writings has to go with very, means two more three times more patience than that of Paulo Coelho. You require lots of patience, you require a kind of devotion to read and to channelize what that basically he is talking about. Because other books like Sheldon Shelley was one of the book which I tried from Amazon. Was he was it was a very small book. It was consisting of the genre which is talking about the history of Jewish kinda, and that book was very much difficult for me to go through. Okay, it was very difficult for me to understand that language. As I was a beginner, I was just reading on the books, but it was very difficult for me to get into it. So I will suggest you to don't go with those books which are a way complicated for you, a way the language is not literally getting any idea. Don't force yourself to be a reader. Be a reader with a consistent wording lines, like the statements which are being prepared to you by your end is understandable. Because learning from a very different channel doesn't mean anything, because you are about to read it, you have to enjoy what you're doing. You have to like implant a kind of interest inside you, then only that particular thing will fall in your actions, like that will let you get a good returns I was talking about. So hope so you will like this thing, because I was about to give this much in this channel, the comparison about Indian authors and the bestseller. So for a beginner, I'll suggest go with the Paulo Coelho, and for the extremist lovers of spirituality, and then you go with the Amish Tripathi. And also if you're a beginner, please don't try it with a hurdle to complete the particular book in 1 or 2 days. It will definitely take you 20 to 22 days to understand that language, and again to understand that what the plot is about. Okay, so I'll summing up with some of the Amish Tripathi's wordings, but the video has already above 12 minutes, so I will just give it into a new ones. A kind of book review also you will get about the Amish Tripathi's first book, and the second one, The Secret of Nagas, will be in the different video clip. So thanking you, hope so you like this kind of language tornado I did. And this language tornado of mixing up Hindi and English, I have done a kind of video which means the before clips were of mix up language of Hindi and English. So hope so you like that also. If it was, then please tell me that is that language more preferable, or this one to complete English is more preferred to you. Hope so you love this video and you love the comparison, the very preference of a beginner you have, if you are. So thanking you, and let me know whether you love my fresh content or not. So stay tuned for more updates on Shrishama. Thanking you.